laughing because, the things that happen in studio sometimes, they say the real radio happens off the mic. And today I'm inclined to believe that 12 minutes past 10 is your time on Gabs FM, power to engage your world. Welcome, ladies, gents, boys, girls, to the Purple Playroom. My name is Ross. If we are meeting for the first time, good evening. I host this beautiful show with a very good friend and colleague of mine. Her name is Cathy Malejane, otherwise known on the streets as Curious Cat. Hello, Cathy.
How you doing, WolfLikeRoss?
You look so cute today, my friend.
Really?
With the pink, with the eyeshadow,
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you,
look good, feel good.
That's supposed to be the way.
And I'm hoping this discussion makes you feel better today.
Oh, I believe it will.
Yeah.
And I'm so excited to see our guest in studio.
I know, she looks stunning. We're about to introduce her, but how have you been feeling? Kana, you are, just to update our listener, Cathy, by the way, is on an assignment, and that assignment is coming to an end next week.
Wow. This is actually the week that I had planned to do this assignment. So, yeah.
You should have been doing it all along so we could see the real result.
Apparently, is the right time to do it. Has something to do with your cycle.
Okay.
Yeah. So,
okay.
So this week and next week are good times.
100%. If you haven't already watched our episode on vaginal wellness, please go ahead and watch that episode. Cathy promised to try out yoni steaming, which I told her not to do. But, because she needs to learn by doing, she's gone ahead and she's promised us that she will bring us back the results. So we are duly looking forward to that for next week. Thank you so much for joining me today, my friend. Let's introduce our guest in studio this evening. Very excited to have her on. She's a good friend. And, how this came to be is that we were talking. She was going over the Purple Playroom content. And she was like, Ross, I feel like I need to be in here. And I agreed very much. And I was like, actually, maybe you do. So I'm hoping that we can hit it off in studio and have a discussion that I feel like we're giving away secrets. We're telling
secrets.
I feel like some of the things we're telling, especially guys, were things that they don't need to know about us like that.
I don't know if they don't need to know that, though. I think they do need to know that, because if they knew it, it would be a much happier nation. Maybe this is part of why we're such an unhappy nation.
Maybe.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and introduce our guest. She's a friend, and she's also just a really lovely person, a wife and a mom, and generally a beautiful woman. Her name, ladies, gents, boys, girls, is Ms. Nicole Nteta. Hello, how are you?
Hi, my friend.
How are you? I'm so glad to have you in studio. Thank you so much for joining us. Yeah. It's funny that we should have this interview. The first time you and I have an interview, and Cathy's here, and it's about sex.
Yeah.
That's very us coded, but we make it work. Let's talk though about the topic at hand today, right? We're having girl talk, and essentially what that means is we're really going to have the conversations that we like to have in the privacy of our own circles, that we feel a lot of the time shy about having outside because it makes us look a certain kind of way. And I want to know from you, Nicole, why you felt like, maybe this is a conversation I feel like I need to have, maybe make somebody else, the next person, more comfortable having the chat.
So for the longest time, I think I've always just been a very outspoken person in regards to this topic.
Yeah.
And I felt like, as Botswana, we're very conservative and we have to kind of dim it down or shy away from it.
Yeah.
But why?
Yeah.
Because how else do we educate ourselves?
Yeah.
And how else do we know stuff?
Yeah.
How else do we research stuff? And how else do we teach our kids
eventually
about, what's going on? So I was like, you know what? This is the greatest platform to come on and just share what we really think. And there's nothing wrong with really just coming out of your shell. Yeah.
Do you guys feel like it's easier for men to have the conversation openly than it is for women? Like, are we stigmatized and judged for openly talking about sex more than men are?
I don't think any gender is comfortable to do it openly. I think men do it in their circles and women do it in their circles, but as far as doing it together or openly, I don't think that happens.
I don't think so. Yeah.
How vocal are women though really in 2025 about sex? Do you feel like it's better? Do you feel like it's crass? People think it's crass.
I don't think women are vocal with their partners about.
Okay, they're vocal. They tell everybody about
with
the
their
right
girls
person.
and not their partners.
A very interesting one.
Yeah. So I had a conversation actually yesterday with my husband, and we were talking about how is it okay to fake an orgasm? right?
Yeah.
And he was like, you know what? It wouldn't be right. It wouldn't be right because why are you leading this person on? And
It's
I think
unfair,
that we
right?
don't have those conversations. Why are we just okay to make the other person think you're doing a good job, but you're actually not?
Don't you think that ruins it for the next person? though?
Yeah.
What, faking it?
Yeah, because if you made him feel like whatever he did satisfied you to that level, he's gonna do the exact. I mean, you've reassured him basically in
I
not
just
so many
don't
words.
understand why someone would fake it, honestly. Like, let's not
Have
lie.
you ever done it?
No, why should I? Like, why should I lie?
Yeah,
I just feel like it's a waste of time.
Yeah, like, I'm
And
not gonna
body
lie.
counts,
Like,
no?
let's just...
I just feel like if a person is not like at a point of understanding and being comfortable in their sexuality and also not comfortable communicating, because at some point, I would like to deduce that you are faking it so that it can be over. I get. Aren't you faking it
But
so you guys can stop?
why are you suppressing yourself?
That's what I mean is when
Right.
you haven't gotten to the point where you're like insanely comfortable and, I guess confident enough to be able to say, hey, that wasn't satisfactory.
No, I see. For me, I go back to episode 1 when we had Aunt Agatha, right, in studio.
Yeah.
And we spoke about how you should never get to that level of intimacy physically before you've reached it emotionally, intellectually, spiritually, etc. So if you haven't done that groundwork, you have no business being in there. And that's when and where you find yourself lying, aka faking, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know, maybe I'm just too blunt because in I can just picture my guy, it's just...
It's not working.
Yeah, like I just don't know why we need to
Okay,
lie.
ladies, teach somebody, who's listening to us today. Walk me through, Cathy, how you tell a gentleman that was an unsatisfactory experience.
What do you mean? How? Like, first of all, your body language is going to... I'm sorry, guys. Don't you? Is it not just obvious? Like,
I think it's just, you switch off, right?
yeah. I
You
mean,
become a bit frigid.
you see, that said,
Yeah.
there are a number of reasons why some people don't get to orgasm.
Yeah.
And I still recall a very good friend of mine talking about how she never came from penetrative sex, but rather from clitoral stimulation.
Yeah.
So I remember asking her, just trying to understand a little bit more about this. That first question of, so why would you do it? Like, was that fun for you? Did you enjoy it? And it's like, no, I enjoyed it. So for me, if you enjoyed it, and maybe you didn't get to come, but if you enjoyed it, and especially if you then know how to go ahead and get that orgasm, why are we not doing that?
So besides the physical aspect of things, what do you say?
What do you mean? What do you say? Okay. I don't get it. Like, do you have to plan that whole speech?
You have a conversation.
Whatever comes to
I
you.
didn't enjoy it. Can we
try? Can we
this
try
next
1, 2,
time?
3?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think if you like the person, they can be
100%.
conversation for a next time, right?
Yeah.
If it's just wham bam, then it's like, okay, cool. That's
No, but if you've done your homework and you've laid the foundation,
Yes.
it really doesn't need to be something that you think about. It's a matter of, okay, so I think we should try 1, 2, 3, or that wasn't quite it. Perhaps we could go with ABC.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, do you feel like in that same vein, feeding off of what you both are saying, Jorge, it takes, it can take multiple experiences to eventually get there with a person. And if you are emotionally aligned with them, you will want to make the experience better
100%.
naturally, right?
Yeah.
So does that mean as women we're done with casual sex then?
I think
Because
it's
you don't get,
for some women, right? Like it's not
the
same.
chances of getting like really, really satisfied from that first encounter where you don't get to have multiple engagements with a person, there's a chance that you won't be satisfied through casual sex.
Yeah, I've never gotten the concept of casuals. I just do not see how you can meet somebody and really be jumping into bed with them.
I think it also just
I'm
depends on
sorry.
the person.
Like, we
you
need to
are,
go
right?
get
If they're
tested
emotional
first.
or not.
Let's go
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah.
Get
Yeah.
tested. I need to know your ID number.
What's your surname? What's your middle name?
That's what I'm saying. No, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm just too old school, but there are just certain things that I think are a prerequisite.
Yeah,
And
100%.
so I've just never... And Happy, I think for me, I'm an overthinker, right?
Yeah.
If you think about this as a woman, when you're intimate with somebody, you are literally allowing another person's body inside your body.
Yep.
What business do you have doing that with somebody who's just flying by?
Conservacious,
And
big
somebody
boss.
that you don't know.
And somebody that you don't even really know. Nah.
Yeah.
I hear you, ladies. 10:21 is your time on Gabs FM, power to engage your world. If you're listening to the radio and thinking, what the hell is going on? You are very right, but we would like you to stick around. It's the Purple Playroom, hosted by Ross and Cathy. I'm Ross. That beautiful lady over there is Cathy. Our guest in studio is Ms. Nicole Nteta, and we are having a girl chat. Everything you need to know about what girls are really talking about in the ladies' room, at home, at girls' night, and the works. All right, plus 267-3956-962. We're going to take a short break and then be back on the other side of this. Good evening. 10:25 is your time on Gabs FM, power to engage your world. This is Ashanti with Rock With You, bringing us into the crux now. We are really starting our discussion now. If you're just tuning in, this is the Purple Playroom. My name is Ross, and my other host name is Cathy Malejane, otherwise known on the streets as Curious Kath. We do have a WhatsApp. Should we read it?
Yes, let's check it out.
Good evening, WolfLikeRoss and Cathy. So, Ross, how does this work? You host the mid-morning show with Swift, then carry on to host the Purple Playroom in the evening. Sorry, I can't comment much on the intimate show. It's for the grown and sexy. What are you? If you're not the grown and sexy, then what exactly are you? But thank you so much for that engagement. Yes, I do come host the show with Cathy every Tuesday between 10 p.m. and midnight. And we have a lot of fun doing it.
We really do, and I think we have conversations that we really need to be having.
Yeah.
And it actually, because, hashtag Curious Cat, and I have so many questions, I am actually really curious to see what the culture is like in Botswana, because we agree we sort of have a hookup culture. But I wonder, is it good sex that people are hooking up and having in this country? What's your take?
Or we just
I think people are doing it for the sake of it,
so now
guys. I really don't think people are out here having
but
great
for the sake
sex.
of it, and is it enjoyable?
And also, why see, for me, I always
For the
go back to
orgasm.
the why. Why are we why would you want to do that? Like
The orgasm.
the orgasm?
Yeah.
Are you even going to have an orgasm if it's casual sex?
Some people make sure they leave with something.
Okay.
Also, if you're not connected to somebody, but I guess this goes back to our chat about, some are emotional with it and then some aren't.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, you know what? I just don't think that... And I think it goes back to an earlier conversation we had on the Purple Playroom a few shows ago, Cathy, where we said, Hore, we need to trace back as Botswana where we learnt about sex. If we can trace the roots of that, then we can understand what people are looking for and what they think should come out of a sexual experience or a sexual encounter. So when we're talking about the culture of promiscuity in Botswana is rampant, why do you want to go around sowing your seed or sleeping with every Tom, Dick and Harry? What are you looking for sexually? So I wouldn't even say it's because it's a satisfying experience. I would think that it's deeper than that. And I can't for the life of me trace it back to what the cause is.
I think it's just the unknown. Like you don't know, right?
Yeah.
So when you're tracing it back, was there conversations about sex back in the day? Or was it just a hush-hush, we're keeping it under the carpet, this is what we're doing?
Yeah.
But this is why I guess now people are just kind of out there just going and having random hookups, right?
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
But to go back to that point as well, just so we don't leave it out because we promised to talk about it, about the fact that, women historically have faked orgasms. Do you think men fake orgasms?
Wow. I think it would be pretty visible if they did.
How would a man fake an orgasm though?
Just they make the sounds, they make their faces, they do the and
but
then,
I guess with them it's if you can tell that they're not enjoying it. I mean it's visible.
Because we're working with this and then later we're working with this.
So basically you're saying if a man loses his erection, then he could fake an orgasm, basically.
Well,
but I mean, how would he be able to? Because by then you're feeling that he's not...
Or he can feel it and then
he's about to lose it and then he
just does
makes
the
faces.
Then he makes the face.
I'm sorry. Honestly, and this is what I said about casual sex, to say I don't get how people say, oh, I'm just going to do this, physically, because you don't leave the emotions and the spirituality and all those other bits of you anywhere and say, okay, let me close the door. Now it's just my body here. Because you come with your soul and your spirit and your emotions and all of you. So that's why I just don't get why we need to now be faking things. Because I think if you ever find yourself at a point where you're faking things, you really need to rethink your life decisions at that point. Like, if you ever do that, after that, go sit down and just
she said, go to the naughty corner, take 2 minutes off, think about what you've done,
think about your life decisions, because you're lost.
But then in that same, I think that segues us perfectly to our next point of conversation, ladies, has it ever happened where you have had to, pleasure yourself or satisfy yourself after an experience that was unfulfilling? I've heard so many stories of women doing that.
But you see, in my mind, this is an act that we agree is supposed to be between two people. Right? So I just don't see why you would be the one pleasuring yourself. Why are you not pleasuring me? Why are we not doing it together?
Maybe the person is not there anymore.
I mean, so after the unpleasurable experience that you've just had, why don't you vocalize that so that he can assist you?
So you can start again.
Yeah,
I think it also goes back to Cathy's first point of by the time we get to the sexual encounter, we should have had a conversation about what I like, what you like, what works for my body, what works for your body, right?
Yeah.
So why am I now just why is there no idea about what to do with my body?
Exactly.
Right.
And plus, if you, because I think I would definitely make it clear what it didn't happen. So or are we saying let's give it an hour? Like, what are I just believe, you see, conversations take care of everything.
And stress. Right, stress can take its toll on the body. We do have to factor that in. And when you're tired, and certain things can sometimes mishap. But conversation needs to be had. Okay, today it wasn't up to par. What was going on? Were you tired? Were you stressed? Cathy's so right.
Without taking it personally, because it could also be so many things that he maybe in that moment doesn't want to talk about.
100%, yeah.
So if he doesn't want to talk about it and he doesn't want to try again, he wants to go to sleep.
If we're talking about having an orgasm or not having an orgasm, what are we going to be saying when we talk about erectile dysfunction, guys?
Yeah, when you now have a problem.
When they actually, because you're saying, oh no, if he doesn't like, my guy, let's have these conversations. If we are going to be seeing each other naked, there needs to be a level of intimacy between us that allows us to say these things.
I love the strict
That's also another topic, hey? I mean, it's difficult also for, I guess, your standardized men to be like, I'm having problems.
Yeah.
Right?
Especially Monna Motswana, guys.
I cannot say
Cathy, when you're English, that's your problem, is you've brought your English tendencies and your little expectations when you know the kind of man you are dealing with in your society.
But before I get naked with this man, we're going to have had conversations. And there's no way that I expect to be judged or I would judge you. At the end of the day, if we agree that we're getting intimate, we're getting into this room, closing the door, it's just the two of us, right? Then we need to be able to say things to each other and understand that we're saying them from a place of love.
Have you ever had an unsuccessful experience in trying to communicate that kind of vulnerability to a man? Or has it always just landed
when you say unsuccessful?
Have you ever tried to communicate this the way you're communicating and it wasn't resonating and he felt like he didn't
understand?
Yeah, or he felt like, why are we having this conversation?
I mean, it depends on, I think people are different, right? So Cathy is blunt. She's just say it like it is, right? And so if you are not going to respond in the way that I think is a successful response, then I need to remember that, our communication was never there. And so that goes back to that point of, I think, especially now that I'm older, I've gotten to a point where I realize that if we can't communicate just from the word go, then we're not even
doing intimately compatible.
So let's not, because I just don't understand the point why we need to do certain things right now.
Maybe. Okay, let me put it to you then, both of you, right? Starting with you, Nicole. Have you ever had it work the other way around where you are super, super intimately compatible with a person, but emotionally, mentally, nothing. Because it can happen.
Yes.
No, I think for me, I start by the emotional side.
Yeah.
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 So
You've never just had chemistry with someone and then...
No, I always start with the emotion.
So just me then.
Yeah.
So Ross, let's flip it on you perhaps and get to understand in that kind of situation, how do you work around it?
What kind of situation?
Where you are emotionally, every other thing except physically not in tune.
Physically not in tune.
No, physically in tune, everything else out of alignment.
You just keep doing the physical stuff.
And then your emotions don't need to come in there. They don't care.
It depends what kind of relationship I'm trying to, because you've got to take everything for what it is, right? So here's a situation in front of me. I found myself attracted to a person. They're attracted to me. We do have sexual chemistry. But if I'm trying, because I will, the way I operate, try to explore that emotional intimacy, right? If it's not working though, but I also feel like I'm really enjoying the other side of things, I might stick around. Yeah, for the fun of it. Depending on what I'm looking for in the moment. So for long, maybe, probably not, because at some point I am going to want to have a chat, and you know what we're going to chat after that. So I'm going to squeeze it for everything it's worth, no pun intended, and then I'm going to move on.
So have you though had a situation where, say, everything else was vibing and then the physical was
No, because I become more attracted to a person the more like intimate emotionally I become with them. So I think even sexually it resonates and kind of seeps into that arena of things, and I will eventually be comfortable. We'll get to the size conversation later. I know we're headed there, and there's lots of responses that we've received via our anonymous question and answer line, NGL. We'll get to those later. By the way, if you're tuned into this conversation and you would like to join, you're absolutely welcome to +267 3956 962.
All right, we continue on the show, and I think one of the things we want to know is, do we have that culture of good sex? And if not, is anybody actually caring to try and make the experience better and to enhance it?
Who must do it?
Everyone. Aren't you? Isn't everybody involved?
Everyone.
But I feel like,
I mean,
everyone in relationships
and...
Or like even teachers. What are we teaching
Everybody
at
who's
sex
having
ed?
sex. If
But
you're
what are we
having
teaching at sex ed?
And
Before
that's
we
where
even
my
get
worry
to
is.
Okay,
What
let me
are we
understand this.
supposed to teach at
Let me
sex ed?
understand this, because I'm in school here. What are we taught in sex ed, Mobotswana?
Anatomy.
So are we taught anything about sex actually?
Pleasure. No.
No, just sex. What are we taught? Are we taught how to put on a condom?
Well, in some classes you will find there some demonstrations, but really it's more verbal than
So basically people
demonstratory.
don't learn about sex in the classroom.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't grow up here as well. But when I did come for 2 years in high school, I knew nothing about sex.
Yeah.
You weren't taught anything.
Yeah.
So I basically had to, teach myself certain things or research certain things, which is why this platform was so important, because I was like, we need to speak more about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the culture, where do we start? We start at school, or do we start at home with the kids?
I really think we start at home.
Yeah.
I'd rather if I had kids, I'd rather teach my imaginary kids about sex than have some teacher teach them, because I don't know what that teacher is going to teach them, and I want to teach my children the morals and values that I want them to, espouse, especially if they're females, because unfortunately, much as we might want to scream and shout and do everything about it, the honest reality is not just our society, but even biology honestly judges us as women when we try and do MCPs, right? And so MCPs are a large part, multiple concurrent partners are a large part of our culture in Botswana. And I don't want my children having MCPs. I think especially as a woman, it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So then let's talk about, I think this segues us to maybe the discussion while we're on kids. Those are the people now who discover porn. They're very
100%.
curious.
Yeah.
They've got access to the internet. We've given them devices. We can't always be watching what they're doing. Our psychotherapist, Mimi Dinto, was in here last week talking about her youngest client was 9 years old.
I saw that actually.
Yeah, and they started 2 years prior to that, which was age 7.
Yeah.
So this is now somebody who's in their formative years, who now their brain has developed around the idea that this is what sex is.
Yeah.
And if you are addicted to pornography for 2 years, it means the porn has gotten darker because the dopamine rush that came from
higher hit.
100%. The dopamine rush initially that came from what you saw has run out. Now you need something more extreme. Now you need, something crazy. So, it shifts us back to the discussion of then, is porn even something that should be a part of our sex lives? Where does it fit into the ecosystem, guys?
Yeah, that's a difficult one, hey?
What is it for?
That's a difficult
I
one.
honestly don't think there's anything good that comes out of pornography.
Yeah.
I actually believe it's quite a demonic thing.
Yeah.
And all it does is distract us.
Yeah.
And cause havoc in our lives.
Yeah.
So if I had things my way, porn would be illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't see why it would be fun. Or maybe I just have never understood the concept of. It doesn't look like it's fun to me. It just looks like everybody's is in pain, and then everybody's just faking everything. I've just never understood. I feel like if there was a storyline, because now I'm that romantic chick.
There is a storyline.
Yeah,
He
it's
came
never
to
one that
deliver
is
a printer.
cute. There's never
He
any-
installed
like a
the printer.
There's never anything sentimental or remotely romantic about those. If there was like romantic pornography, maybe I'd have been interested. But right now, like you just see this woman screaming, and you're like, is she in pain?
That does not
it
look
must look like it
pleasurable.
hurts.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
and there was no foreplay most of the time. Like you're saying, he came to deliver, and then wham, bam, ouch, ouch.
And usually, if
so
there is
sorry.
foreplay, it's actually for the man.
Exactly. So
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't just honestly. So what? Watching those people will make us get.
What do you think? What's your take on it, Nicole? What do you
I
think
feel
porn is
like
for?
people watch for experience to know what to do. I
You know,
don't
there's
think
a book that I believe answers what to do. It's called the Kama Sutra.
those are the different sex positions.
There's so many things you can do there than watch. I'm sorry.
But
I
that's
know,
where
I
the
get
shame
it.
aspect
You
of
know-
it comes in, is because the Kama Sutra you have to go out and buy or purchase.
Yeah.
Porn is something you do in the privacy of your own little,
Yes,
but
but then
where
why
you can
hide it? Especially like within couples, right?
Yeah.
Why are you hiding, like, away in the bathroom and you're watching it?
Yeah.
It's for me, I always feel like it's sort of like it's cheating.
it is.
It's
Do
cheating.
you guys think?
Yeah,
I think
I think
so.
so.
Because you're hiding it away from your
Interesting.
partner,
Yeah,
right?
and the fact that you're unless if you were saying let's
Unless
watch
if you're
it
like,
together and then
let's watch it together and let's try what I saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I want us to, spice things up. Let's
Yeah.
try and
Yeah.
watch a video together.
Yeah.
That cool. But if you're hiding it,
Yeah, the minute
that's a
you're
whole different
hiding
thing.
it,
What if he saw something and then came to you and said, "Hey, I think we should."
Why
try
are you
it."
seeing without me?
no, but I think
He was
that's
doing
still,
research.
No.
that's still a better thing. I think if you're hiding, because now if you remember what we spoke about with Mimi in studio, that shame, that guilt, that all of those things eventually will lead you to somewhere that we really don't want you to be.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
even when we're talking about the culture we have in Botswana of the multiple concurrent partners, I actually believe that in a way people use sex as a numbing tool, because when you have an
100%.
underlying
Yep.
emotional issue, you're going
Yeah.
to drink or smoke or this,
Yeah.
and some people
It's a vice
literally
like
have sex.
It's a
vice.
So
It's a
for
vice,
those
yeah.
minutes when you are having that pleasure, you forget whatever pain, whatever hurt, anger that you have, and you're indulging in this thing. So I think those are some of the things that we need to be looking at when we're looking at the culture in Botswana. And even when you are applying it to children, that's why I think it's so important as parents to be the ones to teach your children the values and morals and everything that we want them to know about sex.
Yeah.
I love this discussion so far. Do you have anything to add where porn is concerned, Nicole, though?
I'd like to ask the listener as well
Yeah.
if they have something to add with regards to anything we've spoken about. And you can call in on 3956962 or send a WhatsApp on +267 3956962. Nicole?
Yeah, no, that's my stance on it.
You know what? I think people watch porn because they have tension. They do it for the arousal. And it leads to masturbation. We mustn't skirt around the fact that people watch porn so that they can masturbate.
Yes. Yes.
People don't watch porn the way we watch Netflix.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
They don't watch it for leisure. They don't watch it to, see what the kids are doing these days. They watch it to get them
themselves
to a certain point so that they can, if they, there's no partner to do that with beside them, then they can get off on doing that. That's why people do that. Do you not agree?
Yeah.
No?
I think so.
Remember, I mean, everybody's different. So, okay. I can get on
because
board
you
with
don't
that.
watch it, that is the majority reason that people do that.
Okay.
So maybe
then
it's
let's
keeping
talk
them
about-
off the streets.
I was
Would I
about
be
to say,
naive
let's
to
talk
think
about
that?
masturbation and self-pleasuring then.
Let's take a break and then talk about that on the other side of this. I think that is an important conversation to have, actually, Cathy, and why people are shy to do it, or rather shy to take it to a certain point, right? So let's talk about that. +267, like Cathy said, 3956 962. We're having girl talk. If you're a guy, listen closely. If you're a woman, engage with us, and you can do so via our online platforms as well. The Purple Playroom across everything. Good evening.
We are talking, we want to know about pleasuring ourselves. I wonder if this is a conversation that men have, Ross, to say, the other day when I was pleasuring myself, I tried ABC and it worked better.
I put a finger over here, I squeezed it this hard. No.
Yeah. Men don't talk about that. Do they?
Have you ever heard conversations like that between men and Nicole?
No, I haven't.
But then again, would we get... I mean, this is where I'd love for a male listener to call in and share their perspective, because we're women, so maybe it happens and we don't know. I don't want to believe that men nowadays don't talk about sex. I really, really don't want to believe that. Or maybe what you guys are saying, they don't talk about pleasuring themselves.
I
that
really
part of
don't think
the
that
we're talking about
come
pleasuring yourself
together
now.
and talk about these things. I don't think so.
Oh, they do. Oh, no, I'm sure they do. Come
Not
on.
pleasuring themselves.
Not pleasuring themselves.
I don't
They
know.
talk about conquest, because remember we mentioned one time on the show, men, a lot of men think of sex as something they do to someone rather than with someone.
100%.
So to themselves, I don't think it would be an exciting conversation by men. Do you think it's because, Nicole, that they just don't have the same amenities that we do? They don't have the same self-pleasure products that we do.
I don't think they have the same accessories as we do.
Yeah.
So they don't have the same toys, basically. That's what you're saying.
So, we have like the rose, we've got the dildo, we've got the vibrators, the butt plugs.
We've got the thing that does the rose thing and the dildo
that squeezes
thing.
And what do they have?
Yeah.
What do they have, to be honest?
Nothing.
And you're not going to sit down with your friend.
They've got dolls, and then there's
They
a
have
really
a doll.
cool contraption that Ross was telling us about.
flashlight.
So cool. That
Should
must
I
be
Google for you guys?
Yes, please, because I would love to see this flashlight.
Yeah, she keeps saying it's like a light bulb. And I'm like, what? And no, it's got a hole. Like, okay.
So we've got access, and then we can then bring those actually into the room, and they use it on us. But I mean, what is usable on them?
Okay, so guys, whoever is watching my search history at the FBI for the last few weeks is very concerned about me. But the fleshlight is a brand of artificial vagina, oral or anal sex toy. It is a masturbatory aid which is used by inserting the penis into its opening. It's a fleshlight.
Oh, a fleshlight.
Yes, flesh.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They don't go that far.
They don't go that far.
Yeah.
For them, it's
Plus, I can't
it's
imagine
just
a
their
man
hand, right?
going into a shop and buying a flashlight.
Yeah.
Oh, just like a flashlight. Thank you very much.
Because I feel like that is now where you really have access to nobody. Like you don't even have a partner, right?
No,
Or
men don't operate
somebody-
that way. Men will have sex with anybody who's willing to do it.
Yeah.
We go to the extent of self-pleasure because we are not as casual or as willing to find casual encounters as men are. I think we should have that conversation to say that we are more focused on self-pleasure for that reason. Men, I mean, we just spoke to men in studio 2 seconds ago who said, hey, let's not complicate it. Just, some lotion. They won't even go to the extent of buying lube over the counter.
Yeah.
It's whatever lotion that you've
available.
no, whatever lotion you've got, and let's get this over with. 2 minutes is all it takes, and we're done. Rona, you're turning down the lights. You're buying lube. You have a favorite lube.
Yeah.
You want to set the atmosphere.
Yeah.
You have one that doesn't react with your pH.
You like the tingly one. You like this. You like that.
Wait, but what I wonder though is, do you think maybe perhaps they're intimidated? Do you think men or women are intimidated when talking about self-pleasure?
I don't think it's a free topic.
Why
right?
not?
like I say, I feel like we're so conservative, and I say this quote unquote, when we shouldn't be. These are topics that we should talk about. I mean, I can say to Ross, yes, yesterday, maybe I was, feeling a little freaky dicky, and I pleasured myself. But as a man, are you going to say that to another man? I don't think so.
Yeah, guys, if we can barely buy condoms without shame and say, can I have the...
Yeah.
And then Cashia's like, what? Can I have the... You know what I mean?
The blue one.
The best thing they ever did for me was put the condoms on the aisles.
Right, and not put them behind.
And not put them behind the kiosk where I'd have to shout, I want the skin. The extra loop.
But then do you think that's crossing any boundaries now when we're talking about sort of self-pleasure? Do you think that's speaking to your relationship when you start talking about it?
It's not fulfilling. Too much about it. I think we think then, too much of... If I say this, is it going to be like, oh, she's not satisfied? No. I don't think there should be that side of it.
Do you think men are intimidated by toys though because there are a lot of men who feel like you are replacing them?
Yeah.
When you get toys?
Yeah.
I think so. Unless they suggest, okay, let's get this and let's try this out.
Yeah.
I think so.
So it's not
especially
cheating.
your Motswana man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you find yourself that you would have to explain what all these things in the drawer are for?
I feel like it's a conversation you can have with your partner to say, why don't we try this out?
But does it always have to be a we? Because sometimes you're going to want to do that on your own.
True.
I think masturbating is a different thing. We should separate masturbating from sex in a relationship. Masturbating is a sexual experience on its own that you are having with yourself. I get it. You're not masturbating because you're not having sex in your relationship.
Let's also say that masturbation is also you learning new parts of yourself, right?
Discovering yourself.
What if you're in a relationship you've never squirted before, but you can make yourself squirt?
Oh... That would be crazy. Do you think women are afraid to go there, though, with self-pleasure? Because a lot of the time it can just be they keep it to clitoral stimulation and then keep it moving. You don't want to know what's up there. You don't want to know, how it curves. You don't,
You have the emotional release. So unless you don't, you're not comfortable 100% with yourself, you're not going to be able to let go 100%.
Yeah. And if you can let go with another person, you can let go with yourself.
Pleasuring yourself, and then you're gonna kind of
chicken out,
hold off, and you're not aware of what your body's capable of.
Yeah.
So you get scared. You get to that point, you're like, okay, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
But you don't want to just release.
Yeah.
And when you release, that's when you now take the bull by the horns and say, okay, this is what I want. This is how I like it. You teach your partner.
Okay, so should we start, if in the conversation about sex when we're teaching kids, how do we then go through masturbation as a way of saying, okay, but if somebody else is going to pleasure you, you should probably be able to do it yourself. 100%. So are we, how do we approach that conversation with kids?
That's a tricky one.
Yeah.
Because for me, I just want to shield my kids from all of this.
Yeah.
But I also want them to fully be in touch with their bodies. And my kids are very vocal as well. So I want them to know that they need to own their bodies and know their bodies first before allowing another person to come near them.
Okay.
Yeah.
I second that. I think
I like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kathy, you agree?
Very much. I think that's important to do, But I just want to go, hit a short left because we do have an anonymous application that we use. Is called NGL, and on both WolfLikeRoss and Cathy Malejane Instagram, you'll be able to find that question and that link. So I just want to throw it out there that I had put a random question because I've been trying to just put random questions on there. And I asked, what would you like to talk about sex? And because we're talking about squirting, somebody actually sent a message to say, do all women squirt, or it's taken a special man to make one squirt? And then, in fact, there was another question, quite random, but I think it kind of applies here. And this one was saying, sex and orgasm, what about making love? Is there any difference? So I want to throw both those questions to you, ladies.
Nicole.
And
So I feel like having sex and making love are two different things. Or I can't swear on radio, right?
No.
There's the vigorous kind.
Aggressive
The aggressive
sex.
kind.
Yeah.
And then there's the softer kind.
Yes.
Where you just want to take
the
it
lovey-dovey
easy.
kind, where you want to look into someone's eyes and you want to whisper you love them.
The kind where I'm not going to take your clothes off. Like, I'm going to take one part of your clothes off and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am.
Yeah.
Right? So, yes, there is a difference.
Yeah.
And I think it just depends on what you're in the mood for, right?
So basically, it's a difference of the tempo of everything.
Yes.
The energy.
The energy.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
and the purpose of it. Sometimes the outcome. Sometimes we're doing it for an emotional connection. We're doing it to enjoy each other and to bond.
Yeah, sometimes
Other
you're
times
just
we're just
releasing.
getting
You're
our
just-
rocks off.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so there is a difference.
Yes.
What about squirting?
Yes.
Is this an everything, or it takes a special man? Or if you've done what Nicole says you should do, learn yourself, know what works, and then when you meet whoever, you're like, yo.
So this is a tricky one, right? This one is one that you can go years of your life being sexually active and not squirt,
Yeah.
right? And it takes like, I don't know if I can say like a certain technique or that release that I was talking about to be able to do it.
Because it's also mental, guys.
Yes,
if you
it's
don't,
very mental. It's
you
very
know, let it
emotional.
happen up
Yeah.
here.
So if you're not in sync with your body, you're not going to be able to fully release.
I would love to know what people are thinking.
I also just +26739569662. Let us know. Don't be shy. We'll keep you anonymous. If you would like to make a comment on the discussion, you are absolutely welcome to. You can also give us a call if you like us enough. We are more than welcome to accept your call. I just think because women, or rather, let me take now the conversation to men. I think we have also had this conversation on the show before to say sexual experiences need to grow and they need both of the people participating to really come to the party, right? You have to be wanting to grow in that area. And actually, one of the Vox Pops, the street interviews that we did around the time of that topic was men, a lot of the time, especially mo Botswana, don't want to be told how to have sex. Don't try to teach them anything. That's not what they want, because you're telling them they're bad at sex and they've had sex with so many people that they can't possibly be bad at it. So what do you mean? You know what I mean? So a person is not going to feel, especially women in Botswana who have been made to feel sheltered, to say, no, you save yourself, but men can go and, get all the experience that they want. So you haven't had enough experience under your belt to come and tell this man that this is how you make me squirt. Wait, that guy. Where do you get the experience?
Also, majority of do they know what squirting is?
No, and a lot of people have misconceptions about it. People say it's pee.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, do people even know how to kind of make a woman come?
No.
Because majority of men think it's just from penetration, right?
Yes.
Some
people just don't get that.
Some people
that
just
way.
don't get that, though.
Yeah.
Some people get the both of it.
Yeah.
Right? And unless you have these conversations, like you say, you're never going to know. I mean, you're going to be a guy and you think penetration, that's it. Okay, I've done it. You're not even thinking about how you're making her feel.
Yeah.
Are you allowing her to finish first, or you want to finish first?
Also, if you finish first, the chances of her ever finishing after that
is zero.
Unless you can come back into the ring and go another round, is probably not going to happen. What are the chances? Because also that goes back to, what's your diet like physically? Are you up there,
what's
or
your
are
mental
you
state?
one and done? So anyway, we'll have that conversation on the other side of this. Let's take another break and then come back and Cathy, look at those responses on our anonymous answer line. Some of them will interest you, but most of them are saying the same thing, and I have a feeling that they are from ladies. I don't know if we heard from the gender. Unfortunately, there's no way to tell because it's anonymous, but we'll see. You guys will tell me once I read them out to you if you think they're from ladies or from men. I know.
Same.
And then we will also have a chance to intro Mace Mace with the Face into the show. That is our wonderful content producer. She takes the liberty every week of going around and having uncomfortable conversations on the street with people to find out what they think about certain things. So we're going to intro her as well in a little little bit. By the way, if you're just tuning in, let us reintroduce our guest to you, Mrs. Nicole Nteta. This is a good friend of mine, as well as just generally somebody who believes in conversational positivity where it comes to sex. You know, let's not hide it in the dark, because that's where also the worst stuff flourishes, right? Speaking of calling a spade and uncomfortable conversations, guys, this week was particularly hard for Mace with the Face to conduct her interviews on the street. People turned her down a lot, and we almost didn't get as much as she's a superhero at the end of the day, and she made it happen for us, but we almost didn't get as much as we had wanted to out of this discussion, you know, where the street was concerned. So I would like to play you two ladies some of the conversations she had, shall we? Cool.
Does size matter to you, or is performance more important?
Size matters because I actually prefer mine smaller.
Okay.
Yes.
Why?
I mean, they satisfy me. Yes.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good.
Big ones actually hurt. So I don't enjoy big.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I've actually heard many other women express the same. Yeah. And then what's your number one ick in the bedroom? Something that just completely turns you off?
I hate it when a man licks my ear.
You hate it when?
When a man licks my ear. Yes. It turns me off.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then how do you tell somebody if they aren't doing something right? Do you just continue? Do you show them, or do you just switch positions and hope for the best?
No, I communicate. Yes, because I'm a very vocal person. Whether it's sexual relationships or just like platonic relationships, yes, I communicate. So if there's something you're not doing right, I'm gonna tell you straight up. Yes. Or babe, this is how I prefer mine.
Lots of things to unpack there, ladies. First of all, shout out to Masa for being brave enough to go out and have those. And shout out actually to the people who respond to Masa. You know, it takes guts, and that's kind of where we're trying to go, right? So we can just be open about this kind of thing. But the first thing that I heard was, you know, this lady say that she, you know, on the size conversation, because we promised we'd get here. Is bigger better? Does size matter? Is it the size of the boat or the motion of the ocean that matters? And she said, actually, she does not like big men. Yeah, she likes them smaller, because she feels like those are the ones that satisfy her. So, I mean, that's the sentiment a lot of people share. We don't have to comment on it. I believe we've gone over it. Mehela will go to those responses via NGL in just a moment. But the second thing she mentioned was one of her icks. If you don't know what an ick is, something that turns you off in the bedroom. And she says, I hate when people put their tongues in my ear. Don't lick my ear.
This is the best thing ever, though.
Is having your ear licked?
Yes.
But it gets so cold.
And talking, right?
But then people are different, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's so important to take the time to know your partner.
Exactly.
Because what turns you on might turn me off.
Yeah, exactly.
So everybody is different. You cannot say, oh, I know what I'm doing. I think for a man and a woman, it's about know your own self. And I love what you said earlier, Nicole, to say, teach our children to know and explore and like love themselves first. Before you, I feel like once you've done that, it then is easier for you. You kind of give your partner a cheat sheet and you say, look, if you want to turn me on, I know the spots, right? Let me hook you up. And as my partner, I would expect you to want to know my spots. In as much as I want to know your spots, because it's all about reciprocation.
Reciprocity.
That's the word I was trying to say. That's the word.
Shout out private school.
So that's, I think, such an important, and I do want us to actually throw in what turns us on as well. Let's not just only focus on the icks.
100% actually. For every ick, there must be two things that are fun. Right? So what about you, Cathy?
What?
Which
one? There's many questions.
Okay, let's do what don't you like in the bedroom and what do you?
Okay.
Yeah, I must tell us.
So I have OCD, obsessive compulsive disorder, and I am very fussy about smell. So
Okay.
in fact, the whole environment. Okay, please note. Side note: I also have a background as a masseuse, so the whole atmosphere is very important. The way the room smells, looks. Is it clean? Does it? All of these things. So I once almost broke up with somebody because I went to visit him and his bed was not made. His bed was not
How
made.
can I be sure what's crawling in there?
And I was just like, but you knew I was coming
Valid.
over.
Yeah.
Why are you not making your bed? Like, I felt so disrespected.
Yeah.
So,
But was that person clean?
Yeah. Oh, you think I'd just visit dirty people? So one of my biggest aches is just that. Like, I cannot stand to try and be getting intimate with you. Just came from the sun and you've been sweating and maybe your feet are not the fresh. I don't want to encounter those things. And and then this is the weird. So there's good sweat and there's stinky sweat. I'm not about the stinky sweat. Like, let's get the good sweat. You know, so that's definitely one of my aches. I'm going to throw this right back at you, Ross. What's
I'm
your
going to
ache?
throw it back to Nicole.
I think I'm a lot like Cathy. I'm not going to come from a sweaty day and then immediately want to have
So
sex.
you can't have sex after you've been outside.
Cannot. No, I need to take a shower first. I need to get the day off of me. I can't even get
what about
into
spontaneity?
and this is my favorite actually.
Yeah.
Yes. That I think maybe after a few glasses of wine, when my OCD has now gone to the back of my head. I think, but otherwise, fully sober me, no. I can't do that.
Yeah.
I can't even get into bed from the day without taking a shower. So I am very iffy about cleanliness as well.
Yeah.
And breath. Bad breath.
That's my biggest one.
Is my biggest.
But isn't that all part of smell? Like let's not
100%.
have any
100%.
smells that are not sexy.
And just be clean.
Wait, since because I wanted to put you on the spot after Ross, but since you're here, in terms of actions or something that someone can do, because our street warrior got us that response to say, don't put your your tongue in my ear. Is there any sort of action that would be like abort, mission abort?
I think I would just say it. Just okay, no, not that. Yeah. Okay. Just no, this is not working.
What would that be?
Tough one.
We'll let you think about it.
Yeah,
we're gonna come back to you, Ross.
About the eggs?
Yeah.
For me, an ick is a person who doesn't speak to me while we're in the bedroom. Because also, if you're not speaking to me, you're not asking me if I'm enjoying this, you're not, I need you to be communicative, vocal. And I also hate a quiet man in the sack. Why are you quiet?
What are you thinking about?
So you're going to be in the middle of it be saying, so what are you thinking about?
No. Not quiet as in, and I'm talking about moans and groans and, why are you quiet? It just feels like we're not doing enough, so I just, and then it leads me to wonder, okay, is this pleasurable for you? Are you, and then it's going to make me self-conscious, all the noise I might be making might be too much, for the reaction that you're giving me. So that's a huge ache in the bedroom to just be like, hey, communicate a little bit, So, if it's too mechanical and you're just, getting the job done, and even at the end, it's very anticlimactic, no pun intended. Hey, we need some drama.
No, like you said, like no convo, right?
Yeah, like talk
it can't
me through
just be
it.
quiet, and then you kind of get off me, and then it's like, okay, that's good. Where we headed to? Like, thanks for your service. No, let's talk.
Do you say thank you at the end?
No,
I always say thank you.
You say thank you?
Yeah.
Why?
What do you mean?
Thank you for what, Ross?
What are you thanking?
What are you
the
thanking
person
for?
How can you not thank them?
Wait a minute, you say thank you?
What? Because it's a show of appreciation.
Ross is so polite.
It's a show of appreciation.
Absolutely not.
Are you serious?
Yeah, of course. Every
Wait,
single
so
time.
do you expect to be thanked back?
No.
But why are you saying
So why are
thank
you thanking them?
Because I'm grateful. I don't know. I don't understand. No one,
No. You're not.
no one's ever laughed at me the way you guys have. You know what? They like it, so
I'm sorry. I'm just wow.
yeah. Just
I
like
can't imagine myself thanking someone.
you know,
though.
once
So
you
after
get
you're done,
to-
you're just like,
So wait,
thank you.
what if they did a bad job? Are you still gonna thank them?
no.
No to the people that haven't gotten thanks.
If you didn't get thanked by Ross, you better know. That wasn't it. It was.
No, really. Yeah. When you're in that daze and, you know, that euphoric state and you're just like, thank you. It's not a formal handshake afterwards. I'm like, hey, you know, thanks for being here today. I really appreciate you. No.
I don't know, Ross. You want to
Everyone
take
in
some
studio
stickers and
is
stick them on their foreheads? You're a star.
No, Cathy, not like that. I dare you to try it the next time for
To
you.
say thank you. I mean,
No.
Nicole, go say thank you.
I think I should say thank you from now on.
You'd be
Monica,
surprised that
thanks for your service.
no, well, I mean, it whatever feels right for you in the moment, but just try vocally showing appreciation and see what that does for you.
I mean, I feel like there's other ways to, not to say thank you, but just to be like, oh, that was good, or that was
Yeah,
nice. Or
something like
today
that.
was
Not
different.
thank
Like,
you.
today
Thank
was-
you, baby.
No.
I do not think I've ever said thank you in my entire life. No way.
Cathy's shocked.
Throughout my stages, I have never said thank you.
I mean, I get what Nicole
Oh,
is saying
Lord.
about maybe commenting whether that was good or something.
Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah, guys, a really, really, really.
And you know
good,
that
like,
every
orgasm.
time is not the same, right? So one
Yeah.
time will be like, oh, okay, wow.
Yeah.
You know, so that can be a, oh, this was nice. Today was fun.
Little thank you. Le bana ba Batswana, you know better. You must say your
I mean, I'd
please
love to
and
hear
thank
what the
yous. If
listener
you
has
can
to
say
say.
please during
You know
you
what?
can say
This
thank
is
you at
going
the
to be
end.
my
Actually real.
Yeah.
This is going to be my next question on my anonymous. I'm going to be
Do you say
asking.
thank you after sex?
Yeah.
No, we're gonna have to ask that.
Yeah,
because
should we say
now
thank
I'm
you
just
after-
like a little bit shocked.
We are not
but,
saying thank
know,
you, and it's come so naturally to
please.
you. Like,
Never
how-
thank you.
How dare we not say thank you? I
Is
mean,
what I'm saying.
no,
Yeah.
I'm asking that.
Thank you. Let's move on. Let's listen to another. Let's listen to another conversation Masa went and had on the streets. All right, here it is.
Emma, I have 3 questions for you. The first one is, does size really matter, or is it all about performance for you?
For me, I'd go for it's all about performance.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not about size.
Okay. All right. And then the next question is, what's your ick in the bedroom? What's that one thing that kind of just turns you off, or turns the vibe off immediately?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't know how to put it.
Okay.
Okay, let's skip that one.
Okay. And then how do you tell somebody if they're not doing something the right way? Do you switch positions and hope for the best, or do you just not say anything at all?
I show them or tell them.
She tells them all the time. So the conversation is the same that Masa's having. You know, the ladies are being vocal about the fact that they're very communicative. If they don't like it, they don't like it.
Yeah.
Because if you're not having fun, then, you know, less people to be able to thank at the end of the day, right? So, yeah, let's listen to another one before we get into some of the responses we received on one of those questions.
Yes. Okay, be honest. Does size really matter, or is performance the most important thing to you?
Can't I go both? Yeah, both. Size matter and performance matters. Yeah. Because if your partner is not performative on the bed, you're also not gonna enjoy the sex, you see. But don't ask me why I know these things.
Okay.
The second question was?
The second question is, what's your ick in the bedroom, or that one thing that just kind of turns you off and kills the vibe instantly?
What should I say? Hey, personally for me, I would say if my partner doesn't listen to what I'm trying to say, like communicate to him and tell him, no, this is not what I like, or this certain position I don't like it, but then all the time they're always doing it, it just turns me off, and I be like, nah, I don't want to do it anymore, you see. Yeah, because you're not listening to me. I'm communicating to you. You're not listening. So I don't know if some people don't consider this as an ick, but I do consider it as an ick.
Yeah. I mean, communication is definitely important. Yeah. So it can be icky when somebody doesn't communicate. Yeah. Okay. And the final one is, how do you tell somebody if they're not doing it right?
I would also say communication. Communicate with your partner. Your partner should know what you like, and you also have to know what they like, so that things can be okay, the both of you. Yes.
Communication, ladies, that is the order of the day, right? I think while we were talking about icks, we were also meant to be discussing things that we actually enjoy.
Things that turn you on.
Yeah. Did you both answer that question?
I think we should start with you, Ross. What turns you on?
A good lums.
What's a lums?
A kiss. A kiss.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
If I am perhaps in a, and I feel like it is something that you can teach someone, but it's a little bit more difficult to teach a person, I feel. But I just feel like so much chemistry comes out of just being able to share a really, really, really great kiss with someone. Like, I want to make out with a person.
Yeah.
You know, and for me, half the time, that's half the job done. Like, if it's that good, and I also don't like a rushed kiss.
Yeah.
You know, so if we are leading to the point where we are about to be intimate, of course we're being intimate when we're kissing, but you know, if we're leading to sex, and you rush through the kiss, it's the
it's not going to
quickest
be
way
a good
to
time.
yeah.
For me, that's also my biggest
as well.
Yeah,
that's my biggest turn on.
Oh,
is the kissing.
Kiss. Yeah, the kissing, because I put everything into a kiss. Everything.
Yeah.
Whether it's the hands, it's the gestures, it's the body language.
It's the smiles in between.
Yeah, the smiles in between.
The little giggles.
The touching the face.
The stopping and looking at each other and then doing it again.
It's the passion in that first that is going to determine
100%
what the next step is.
100%.
So if I'm getting a...
No. It's aggressive. You're biting me. Whoa.
We don't need violence.
Come back.
No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. So that would probably be like my biggest thing that I enjoy. And then like I think Nicole mentioned it as well. Just like being spoken to during. Yeah. You know,
and
the neck.
What kind of
neck
spoken
bites.
to are we talking about?
You know, you tell me what a good job I'm doing and how great I am.
Okay.
You know?
So during.
The dirty talk, Kathy.
Okay.
Dirty talk,
Kathy, we want to be called good girls. Don't make us say it. You know? I mean, it is,
Yeah.
Is that not a thing for you?
The
praise, you know, and this brings me to another one while we're on this particular subject, is a lot of people have what is called a praise kink, and what is called what's the opposite of a praise kink, where you are basically told derogatory things. Yeah, so what do you think about that?
I think I'm 1 foot in, 1 foot out with that. It depends on the mood, right?
Yeah.
As well.
Yeah.
How we spoke about the difference between sex and lovemaking.
Yeah.
So if we're aggressive with it, the derogatory can come in, right? But if we're lovemaking, it's the sensual, more passionate, more nicer things, encouraging
building words
that you can
and
say.
Yeah.
But the aggressive one, I do definitely
a
wanna
little
hear
bit of
some,
degradation.
Yeah.
Here and there.
I do want to hear some stuff.
I like the sound of that. That's fair. I mean, that's versatility.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, you know, because we said earlier on through this conversation, sometimes there's a time and a place for lovemaking.
Yeah.
And there's a time and a place for also a more aggressive approach to sex.
Yeah.
I think for me also
Keeps
is
it
that I will
interesting.
start off by, it'll be slow, right?
Yeah.
But then I always gravitate
Then
towards
we're
the
going
dominate,
up,
dominate
up,
me
up.
now.
Yeah.
So it's that's my biggest kink as well.
Yeah.
So I'll say to myself, okay, no, today just pace yourself, Nicole.
Yeah.
But then, you know, there are times where I'm like, okay, you can't pace yourself. This is who you are.
Yeah. I appreciate that so much. Yeah. Oh, man. Guys, let's listen to another interview Mace had before we wrap up here. Here it is.
Does size really matter to you, or is it all about performance, if you know what I'm talking about?
I definitely know what you're talking about, and size does not matter. It's all about performance. It can be small and it can do the things. So
Okay.
it really doesn't matter.
Okay.
Plus, I also think it goes with emotions. If you guys share connection, whether the size is big or small, everything works out. Yeah.
Okay, and what is your ache in the bedroom? Like, what's something that completely just turns you off?
Oh my God, I can't think of anything on top of my head. But girls are gonna kill me for this, eh?
Okay.
Guys, it's the muffing. I don't understand it. Make it make sense, please. I don't know. That's the ick for me.
Okay. Interesting. I've never heard that before, actually.
Yeah, guys, don't kill me.
No, they won't. Everybody has their own aches. Okay, and then my final question to you is, how do you tell someone if they're not doing it right? Do you switch positions? Do you just like talk them through it, or do you just continue and hope for the best?
No, normally before everything starts, there will be a conversation prior to that, right? So I tell them, or I communicate what I like and what I don't like. Yeah, so communication first, and then things slowly just works out.
Okay.
Yeah, if I don't like it, I'll just say, wait, babes, what are you switching? Yeah, they always understand. I think so, Lagan. From my experience, they always understand.
I like her because she said, you know, the girls are not going to be too happy about this, but I don't like oral sex, like receiving it. And Nicole has something to say about that. But, you know, what do you think? What's your first reaction to that?
How? That is the best.
It's a prerequisite.
That is the best
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
That is like a drug for me, to be honest, like a sleeping pill.
Yeah.
For me personally.
Yeah.
I want to understand why
a person might not enjoy that.
Is it because of the experience they had with the one person?
Usually. So in my own experience, and I'm just going to share my experience with you guys, is I guess also we were young. And by young, I mean in varsity.
Okay.
You know, it happened, and this was a person I had my first time with. So, well, it wasn't theirs, but it was mine. And as we continued seeing each other, you know, I would receive that and just decided at that point that, you know what, I guess this isn't for me. It's a shame because it looks fun for other people, but I just don't think it's for me, right? And I kind of just went through life even after we had stopped seeing each other. And maybe went through life is putting it a bit much because it just took the next guy. You know, and I was very closed off. Like, you know, when your body kind of just like contracts because you just don't want something, you have an experience of it, and you're not relaxing, you know, and that happened. But at some point, in my mind, I was just like, you know what the hell? What's the worst thing that could happen? And then I realized that I actually enjoyed it, and I actually just didn't like it with that person. So I also, you know, what that has done for me was keep me open to those experiences or that kind of possibility for other things within the realm of intimacy, to say just because you didn't like it with that person doesn't mean you don't like it. Maybe it just takes, you know, tweaking it, tuning it up, and seeing where you are on the spectrum. So I can see how that would happen for a person. Yeah. So let's read some of the responses on our NGL. This is our anonymous Q&A line. All right. If you would still like to respond, the Purple Playroom has one up, as well as WolfLikeRoss. Our social media manager just sent a one of the responses to our line. It says, the biggest ick for me is a man focusing on orgasming more than making sure I orgasm first or enjoy the experience. So, you know, trying to get to the finish line before I do. You must let ladies win. the race. Okay, that's just how it goes. All right. If we read the other responses, and the other responses here we have are about size, whether or not size matters, or if it's. And I'm gonna come to you, ladies, because I haven't actually asked that question, but we'll talk about it in a moment. Right. This one says yes, size does matter, and people think the bigger the better, but they don't understand. Just like there is a too small, there is such a thing as too big. And from experience, too big, every man who's on the bigger side of the spectrum, it feels lazy. They're lazy. From my experience,
think they're justifying it
because
by the size?
they have the size. They think that does all the work for them, and then everything else about learning how to pleasure a woman just goes out the window.
Yeah.
They're not interested.
I actually feel, or I used to feel that way about good-looking men.
Yeah.
Just that they had no charm or charisma. A lot of the time, they don't even bother to
No
make
jokes,
an
no
effort
banter.
because they know that
Their looks are gonna overcome. Yeah,
So
I get it.
Yeah.
it's I absolutely think that is a thing as well. And because somebody is not making an effort, I think that just takes away the whole. What are we doing?
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, and too big is too big. Like it can hurt if you don't know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Kathy's dead. What's up, mama?
Yeah, no, this one needs to be off air.
Okay.
This one is a little bit tricky, Ross.
Don't worry, ladies. I'll carry you through this one, okay? Next one says, the question simply was, does size matter? They're like, nope. I wish they would have elaborated a little bit more. This one says, yes and no, to be honest. It doesn't matter if they don't know how to... It doesn't matter if they don't know how to use it to make you orgasm. How does that not matter?
Because then what's the point? We don't care your size if you're not going to use it.
Yeah, listen.
So that's what they mean.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter. If you're not actually using it and doing a good job with it, might as well not.
That
have.
matters, because if it's too big, you've got to know how to
No, I mean,
maneuver
I
it
think
to
what
be
this
gentle. And
person
if
is
it's too
saying is,
small-
as long as you're not trying to think about the technique, if you're not trying to make an effort, whether you're big or small, like, we are wasting time.
Oh, true. Another response says, only if they know how to use it, but personally, anything smaller than average is not for me. And that's this person's personal experience.
But what is
right?
average?
I haven't got a ruler, Nicole. Look at me looking around studio like there's anything that I can, I almost
if
grabbed
you can see the
almost grabbed
gentlemen
the
shaking their
aircon
heads right now.
I almost grabbed the aircon remote, but I
These
thought
guys
no,
have been
Ross.
shaking their heads for the past 10 minutes.
But yeah, this person says anything smaller than average is not for me. Another response says it depends. I guess, on the factors that we've already discussed throughout the show. Another person says not really. It's more important to know how to use it. And the last response says size doesn't matter. What matters is if they know how to use what they've got. So the sentiment seems to be universal.
Yeah. I have a couple of responses as well on size. And this one says, Diego Maradona, Pele, and Lionel Messi were the shortest footballers of their generation, yet the greatest because they had the natural skills and mastered the techniques very well.
Yeah.
But then this person
worked
goes on
hard.
to say, so size does matter. So I'm not sure. And then another one said, for me, it's more of technique, because I said, does size matter or is technique more important?
Technique.
And then somebody said, they both matter. It depends on how best you use them. And then this one said, there can't be a blanket statement on size. Race and genetics and demography plays a role. For instance, the Far East Asians are small in endowment, but their women also have the same genetics made for such size. What's the point of having a big head if there's no brain in it?
That's an interesting one. That's very interesting. But
I actually just got a comment.
okay.
Apparently 6 inches is average.
6 inches is what,
I don't
12
know how to-
centimeters? Yeah, it's about 12 centimeters.
Why do I keep wanting to pick up the remote?
She's been picking up the remote the whole evening.
I think
Because
one of the,
I really
I think one of the
wanna-
guys here
I want to
has
see.
a
Do you guys
ruler,
have
a ruler.
something? Please,
Yes,
whip
he's gonna
that
measure
out.
it.
Oh my God. Please give it to Nicole.
So 6 inches, yeah, let's see.
Let's see what that looks like. Don't pull it out that far, Nicole.
I was about to say, no way. He's like, what are you doing? That's 6 inches? What? No.
No.
This is 6 inches.
Baby.
Yes.
Nicole.
Okay. 6 inches.
Okay. You know what?
So that's average.
So this is average.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is average.
Yeah. Okay, average.
So then,
But average when it's just as is, or average when it's hard?
Average when it's
Because it
erect.
grows a little bit.
Yeah, no, let's say average when erect. Let's be fair, ladies.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
average
be
when
fair.
erect.
okay, right.
Let's listen to our very last interview that Masa went and had for us before we make our way to the end of the show. We are fast running out of time, unfortunately, but we are going to make it work. There is a WhatsApp here that says sex is not a one-size-fits-all. Everybody has their own way of how they get pleasure. Thank you so much for that. WhatsApp +267 3956 962. That is our line to reach us on if you'd still like to make it here before we get to the finish line. All right, here's Mace with the face.
Okay, so number one, be honest. Does size really matter, or is performance most important to you? I think both of them equally matter. But if I had to choose, as you often do if you're dealing with Botswana men, I'd say performance, at least. Number two, what is your ick in the bedroom? Like that one thing that kills the vibe instantly. I'm a little nasty, so I don't mind spit. I just mind how the spit sounds. There's a difference between, letting a little drip drip on your body, that's fine. But if you go, that's disgusting, and I hate it. It just feels filthy. And then number three, how do you tell a guy he's not doing it right? Do you just switch positions and hope for the best? No, I'm going to tell them. That's uncomfortable. Move to the side. Ish, it's a bit too, slow down. I will direct that person, okay?
I like her. I would like to find her and be friends with her. Yeah, she must come on the show, actually. I like this conversation. I like where we've gone with this. I like the fact that, and if I'm to answer that one personally myself of whether or not size matters, I think... I really think what matters is what you are doing.
Yeah.
And where you're trying to go with this. Are you here for pleasure? And are you here not just for your own pleasure, but our pleasure as well?
As a collective.
And mine as a collective. So I don't think size matters. Maybe there is what is maybe smaller than average that might not be satisfactory in that manner, but there are so many other things that a person might be able to do to satisfy you in the bedroom. There's clitoral stimulation. I mean, if you're not averse to toys, like sex can be a fun experience regardless of what your anatomy is, I feel.
Yeah.
I feel like even if you're paralyzed from the waist down, you should be able to enjoy pleasuring someone else. That's sex.
100%.
So I just, that's where I stand on that particular matter, ladies. So let's talk about, before we end off on this show, is it a good idea to speak to your friends about sexual encounters that are both good or bad? Right? Because what I have heard is that you mustn't tell your friends, and these are just people talking on the streets, but you mustn't tell your friends about how good your partner is in bed because, they're going to have an inclination to go and try and find out for themselves. What do you guys think about that?
So for me, because I'm very private about what happens in my sex life, right?
Yeah.
I think just because I just wanted to stay between the two of us.
Yeah.
But I will say, I have no complaints in my sex life. I will have that conversation with my friends, but it doesn't go as any further than that.
The details
of what I do or what he does or how we...
And you wear them with pride, Nicole.
Oh, yes, she was talking about how that's also part of the
No, Nicole, it is what it is.
It is what it is. I'm going to be in a meeting and I'm going to rock up with my hickey. You must just mind your business.
Just know that I'm having a great day.
I'm having a time.
Yeah. And I appreciate that.
I think the intricacies of what you go through in your sex life, I don't really think should be shared.
Yeah.
But to each their own.
Yeah.
Like I would love to hear
Is my
about
whole thing.
I would love to
wanna
hear about
hear.
your sex life, right? But I wouldn't personally divulge too much of mine.
Yeah. So to each their own, really.
Yeah.
What about you, Kathy?
No, I just think certain things need to stay private. But that said, I have a very small circle of friends, so that very small circle I guess to know a few details or two,
Yeah, I
because
feel
they're
like
not
I know
that
one or two
big.
things about you.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do I know this about Kathy?
Unfortunately, you're in my small circle, Ross. So.
Unfortunately, honestly, unfortunately. Oh man, ladies, let's play one more song and then come back and wrap up our conversation on the other side of this. It has been, we're not done yet, but it has been an honor and a privilege to talk to you about this and have this girl talk with you. I'm so excited, and I'm going to go to bed with
I want to
such
have men talk.
a wide. Yeah, can we have some men in
Can
here?
we get a man to just volunteer himself?
Can
to
we
do
get
what
two guys?
Nicole has done
Right.
today. So
Thank you for
send
setting
us
that example.
Yeah, right. Send us a message. Reach out to us on our social media platforms, or send a message now on the Gabs FM WhatsApp line. Any of the ways that you can find to get a hold. If Mace talks to you and you are a man and you want to come to the studio, come and let's have men's.
I mean,
talk.
all of these men's conferences, like, why on one of them just saying, you know what, let's just go talk about sex?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what we do
like.
with women, as opposed to two women.
100%.
All right, so if you're listening right now and you're a gentleman and you're not shy or scared of Kathy and Ross, we're actually really lovely ladies.
Yeah, very chill people.
Yeah, and we smell great, all the people in studio
we'll
with
thank
us are
you.
nice.
We'll
And
thank
we'll
you,
say
yes.
thank you at the end of it. You guys are naughty. 12 with Peaches and Cream, bringing us to the tail end of our show at 11:48 on Gabs FM, Power to Engage Your World. I think we have had a great chat, ladies. So it's nice to catch up with the girls,
Right.
and just, talk our stuff, man. So I hope somebody's learned something listening to this. I hope a guy's learned something. I hope a girl has learned something. I hope
want
somebody's
Nicole
more
back.
comfortable communicating. Yeah, please come.
I want
Let's go
Nicole
back.
back. I want Nicole back in studio at some point. I think it'd be really great to just
I am ready. Anytime.
pick her brain on it. But in wrapping, I'd just like Nicole to put you on the spot and just say, what are some of the key takeaways from today's conversation for you?
So, definitely to be more vocal. As much as I have a huge stance on communication, I think I learned that, with everything that you go through in the bedroom relationship wise, it's just to have more transparency with each other.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And know your body, know your partner, and guys, things will just go smooth sailing for you. Yeah.
I like that. What
Yeah.
about you, Kathy?
The takeaways.
Your biggest takeaways today?
I think it's important to explore and know yourself.
Yep.
And the basics you can never run away from. You need to lay the foundation. You need to vet the person. You need to be their friend. All of that work before you get to the point where you're intimate with them, because it does what Nicole's just said. It makes it smooth sailing for you.
Yep.
I think we have agreed that size does and doesn't matter, because everybody's different in terms of what they prefer. So if you are gifted on the bigger size, it doesn't necessarily mean anything, right? And one thing that I think has just been validated by today's conversation is just that everybody is different. And that's why the first point is so important, because you need to know yourself, explore yourself, know yourself, so that you know what you like.
Yeah.
So that you can communicate that with your partner and
Take it forward.
Yeah. And so I think one of the big things, which are a huge turn on for me, is communication. Right? Before, during, after. Like, let's just communicate.
Yeah.
It's everything.
Yeah.
Ross, what about you?
My biggest takeaways.
Let's give Ross a second to think. And if you've been listening, send a message through on +267 395 6962. That's our WhatsApp line. I'd love for somebody to just send in their takeaways. And you can always call in. The studio line is 395 6962. Ross, that's a whole 10 seconds.
Oh, thank you for buying me 10 seconds. I owe you. But, the conversation about self-exploration is now really, it's more important than ever.
Yeah.
One, not just with women, because we have so much access to all the toys, all the accessories, but men just don't have that. So are men missing out on an opportunity to pleasure themselves? Or maybe are we even looking at it the wrong way, because if they want sex, they just go out and have it, and they will have it with the nearest person. For them, it's just about, getting off, right? So maybe we need not even have that conversation. But then, coming back to what I know, which is women, do the self-exploration. If you don't know your body, then, how can you trust another person to go there with you or for you? So I think we need to have a deeper conversation about self-exploration. We need to have a separate conversation on this show about pornography.
Yeah.
Its role in the ecosystem where sex is concerned, what we're really using it for, and if it's necessary, especially when our kids have access to it and where they're concerned. And the last thing is going to be to challenge whoever's listening right now after their next sexual experience to say thank you. Say thanks.
Thank you, Ross.
No, this is not. No. This is not how this is supposed to work. You guys are going to give me nightmares tonight. No. But if you can say please during, you can say thank you after. So just try it. Go and experiment.
I don't know about thank you.
I don't know why you ladies are allergic to thank you. Women, you're allergic to sorry and you're allergic to thank you.
Well, I can say sorry, but why are we... not after sex, but why?
For a great experience and for listening to you and, asking you what you need, what you like, and then eventually bringing you to that point.
This is why I asked you, what did you expect to be thanked back?
No, absolutely not.
So you thank him and then he doesn't thank you?
At that
Were you
point,
not also listening to him and all of that?
It's just like
stuff?
you're taking it way too much like a service now.
No, it's not about that. Okay, I need you guys. You guys are not bumping me. I need you to internalize me. Okay, guys.
This is
one
definitely
time.
an
So it's like you finish and then you're like,
guys, I don't shake his hand.
I'm
not going to send him. I'm not going to send him a fruit basket and say, "Hey, great
of
job."
appreciation.
you like a gift hamper.
Guys, you guys don't get, because you guys have never. Man, you know what? I'm going to end this show right now. Nicole Nteta, this has been our guest this evening on a Girl Talk episode of the greatest late night radio show on the air. It's called the Purple Playroom, hosted by myself. I go by the name WolfLikeRoss. My friends call me Ross, so of course you are welcome to call me that as well. And my friend Cathy Malejane, otherwise known as Curious Cath.
And you can find us on social media. If you type Cathy Malejane, you will be able to find me across all the social media platforms. Wolf Like Ross, where do we find you?
Wolf Like Ross on everything. I'm an easy woman to find.
And then the Purple Playroom is available on TikTok. It is available on Facebook. And we also have a YouTube channel. It's called the Purple Playroom.
Yeah.
And you can catch every single episode and tell us next week which episode number we are on, because clearly my brain is not switched on at this point and I can't even count.
Nicole, what would you like to come in and talk to us about next? Because we need you back.
Can I do my research? There's so much I want to talk about.
Yeah. Okay.
Can I do my research?
Go. You're welcome back anytime.
And then before we go, I really want to speak to a man who's listening to us,
please,
and who's not shy.
Yes.
And I really want to say we want to invite you to the studio.
Yes.
And we'd love to have men's talk with you.
Yeah. Let's have a guy chat.
So I really, really like that. I'd really love for an outspoken gentleman to just reach out to us and say, "Hey guys, I'm interested in coming to studio. Come and these are the points I'd like to speak about." And then finally, to the people on the streets of the capital city of BW, there is a very pretty woman that might come up to you and start asking you questions about sex. Please
don't be shy.
Don't be shy, and please talk to her.
And she does not bite. Yeah. Unless you want
Unless
it.
you ask her to.
Ladies, good night. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having me, ladies.
Cathy, see you next week.
Yeah, it's been a great one. Thank you all.
Cheers. Good evening.
That's just a disguise like you always get.